We are back. It is Toonkind D&D. It is a 12 FPS, and it's a cute one because it is the engineer and...
And it's Tobias, who I've played not too long ago, actually. I was gonna say I haven't played it since last year. No, he has been in an FPS that got him to level 10. I'm very happy about that.
Yeah. Tobias is 2
Marcy
levels
is not.
higher
Marcy
than
is going
engineer.
to kill my...
We're not gonna talk about that, because...
No, it's fine, it's cool, it's chill.
It's okay. It's okay. He's an old man. I'll say that. That's part of the reason. And also, like, the new blood must take over, and maybe we'll talk a little bit about that. Not too much, but yeah.
Oh, fear.
Yeah. No, not too much. Not too much. It's just passing on some wisdom, which I'm gonna have to like act like I know shit. Which is hard because I don't, because I'm not 60 years old like this guy is. I happen to be half that age, which is still quite a lot. Anyway, okay, so...
The character knows, if the character knows, then you know, don't worry about it.
Yeah. Anyway, it is the beginning of a new year, and, it's fuck you, it's January, basically. It's not absolutely horrific out there, like, there's some powder snow out there, which is making it a little bit skiddy. You know, you've got some Mario Kart-esque shenanigans going out on the road, but it's not like 6 feet death hell out there, which is perhaps why when the engineer approaches you, he looks like he's actually willing to go outside, because he likes a bit of snow, but a lot of snow for this guy is not a good idea.
I wonder why.
No idea. I would ask, like, what is Tobias up to? Like, what have you been doing lately? How are you feeling, kiddo?
Honestly, Tobias these days has been working on his magic a little bit. Also, apparently taking care of kids, as I look at the last Banana Marius and Tobias FPS. It's just been chilling and doing a bit of his own stuff on his side because he's quite bored.
Aww. Yeah, Dodo Studios
and also taking...
You go.
He's actually going to therapy now.
Yeah,
which is also very good.
We have a therapist, bless you, Minty. I'm very happy about that. And so is everybody. I mean, the engineer was not as nice or self-aware as he is these days. Like, I think that's perhaps something that gets a little bypassed, like how much of a character shift he went through on the Never-Ending Train.
Oh boy.
Which is a whole thing. If you haven't listened to that, trust me. He went through some shit. So he's less of a goblin bastard, but he's still learning. Like, he went from, like, chaotic neutral to chaotic good in whoosh.
Little by little.
Well, in real world terms, it was like 2 days, but, like, he's still learning how to do that. Like, being good is hard. And being a conscientious, healthy director is hard, like, inwards and outwards. But he's getting there, and today may be a part of that. So, Dodo Studios has been on basically a kind of a hiatus. He's been doing lessons and like little mini projects with y'all, but the big thing has been making this Sea Train, which is like basically a whole project. There's a whole thing about that. Don't worry, we'll get to it eventually.
Yeah.
And he is back in Dodo Studios today to see you. And he has told you this in advance. He wants to spend the day with you, so, you know, you haven't been double booked. This isn't being jumped on you from, like, zero warning. That's one of the things he's learning
Tobias
about.
goes to wheel, we're off.
Yeah. Hey, a previous edition of this man would have done that. You've got this expectation that you're going to spend a day with Train Dad. How are you feeling about that? Are you nervous? Are you excited? Are you, I don't know, indifferent?
Probably a bit nervous because, like, with the IHS, it's been, like, they've probably been talking, but it's been a while since they've done something together.
Yeah, like a big thing. I mean, they see each other around. I love the fact that we now, like, definitely have a sort of underground railway version of teleportation circles around Inkwell. Like, that makes life so much easier. It
is very, very good.
Engineer doesn't like using them. Like, his relationship with magic, he always feels queasy. But yeah, it's convenient, and in fact he has one built into the studio, which you used on the first time you ever met him. Huh.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah. I did consider using that today, but no, today he brings you around the back to Willow, who is kitted out, fired up, and looks ready and raring to go. And he says, "Alright, we're going on a little road trip, I hope you don't mind."
Absolutely not. First roll of FPS, D10, cool, he gets on the goggles.
You get a big old clap on the back, and he says, "Alright, bonus points to you. You didn't even need reminding. So I take it by that you want to go in the engine rather than the carriage, which was always an option, though."
Well, I mean, I haven't been into the engine that much.
Hey, the first time we met Willow, it was a bit of a strange event, so I think I should reintroduce you both. Alright, well then you go, and he gives you basically a gentle kick up the arse to get you in the engine carriage. Like a loving kick. Like, just very gentle.
It's gently push, but it's actually not so gently push.
Look, he's doing his best, okay?
We all remember that pat on the... Well, not pat on the back, but hug in the first FPS.
I think your constitution isn't quite as bad as it was then.
It is.
Pretty bad, isn't it? Yeah.
It is.
Even at level 10, you are a paper bag.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm not gonna make you roll constitution for a kick up the arse. You land in the engine carriage with comedic squashing sound, and you're at the controls. I just want you to make a wisdom roll. Not a saving roll, just a general wisdom.
Oh no. Wisdom?
Yeah.
Cool, great. Tobias, what is your wisdom? Tobias's wisdom is still a 0.
Yay! I love a +0.
Hey!
Give me that straight 20.
It's just a little guy.
Oh, 11.
He's just a little guy.
At least it wasn't like below a 10. Then you would have been like misinterpreting things. With an 11, you're not quite in the vibe zone. You're not quite in the groove. You're too nervous, I think, is the thing, to open yourself out to this engine, which you and several other people in the studio know is basically sentient. This machine has been loved and used and appreciated for so long that it is alive in its own special way, and it certainly has a lot going on with the fuel department.
Oh boy.
You know about that. Anyway, the engineer climbs in next to you, doesn't appear to pick up on this, or doesn't point it out, perhaps. Sets something down behind you, sort of scrambles up to look out of the window to check, like, the carriages are all connected properly, because you do have a caboose. You've got the fuel caddy, and you've got one carriage, which, you know, that's a carriage, I guess. And,
just in case. We'll never know.
Well, you might. Anyway, and he says, "Alright, we're setting off. Well, go on, blow the whistle."
Okay. Guess blowing up the whistle.
Alright. Maybe...
Also, fun fact about the whistle, but I told you this already, but Tobias has been getting Willow to help him for his dissonant whispers, so that it actually sounds like her whistle.
I forgot that, and it's so good. Yeah. Okay. So you do know where the whistle is. I don't need to make you roll for that. You blow the whistle, and likewise, you know how loud it is, so you won't have to do like a save for that. But it is shrill and shrieking, but joyful, and it's sort of like, oh, thank God! Like, I haven't been out for ages. Like, Willow does occasionally.
It's been so long.
It has. Willow has been being run as like a general locomotive, and for transporting goods and everything, she does earn her keep, but not as much as usual. And she likes a bit of an adventure, and she knows that today is an adventure. So she screeches, she whistles, she comes out, clatters, and she's off. And it's a lovely thing to watch from a distance. She has this peculiar black smoke that comes out, and it's like ink in water, is how I've described it before. And it doesn't move like regular smoke. It kind of lingers for longer than you would expect it to. And the weirdest thing is, because you know that this train runs on nightmare fuel, it is a scream-powered locomotive. It is the worst joke that I could come up with. You're welcome, everybody. But the smoke doesn't smell bad. Like, people who see it go past or, like, you know, happen to get a lungful as they're on the street, they don't get bad dreams. They don't get nightmares. In fact, it almost smells kind of nice.
Oh.
Yeah, it's weird.
I mean, it has been processed with Willow, so it makes sense.
Yeah, but that's not what this game's about today. Anyway, so this is a fairly sizable journey. It's like, you know, we're going an hour and a half out and you roll past the city, you go past the suburbia of Toontown, and you start cresting the lower mountains, the foothills, and you start to take the tracks heading out west, because we're heading out to the Warner Badlands. And there's these beautiful mountains and rolling sky, and the journey is kind of quiet. Like, the engineer will talk to you if you talk to him, but on the whole, it's just for the journey, and just to not have to think for a while. So, as you're starting to, hopefully, relax, and, you know, he's showing you the controls so that you can, like, do fun stuff as well. There isn't too much to do, because Willow is very good at autopilot. So make that wisdom roll again for me. Let's see if you've calmed down a little.
12.
Oh, you have!
Just a little
By
bit.
1. With a 12, I will give it to you because you're basically under direct tuition here. When you do something really good, you know how sometimes when you're like playing a video game, you get like a little bing, you get like a little bonus for like doing something at exactly the right time? Like in Mario Kart, you get a little boost if you jump off the ramp at the right point. Yeah, it feels like that. Like you get a little thrill of joy. Basically, every time you do something just right. And it's like the train...
Oh, that's very cute.
Willow is basically rewarding you, but, like, the whole experience is rewarding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's also very fun to conduct a train.
It is!
In general.
Yeah! In fact, at one point, the engineer leaves you at the controls because he wants to check on what's in the carriage, and you're just, you know, there serenely sort of soaring along these planes. Overall, like, how would you say that Tobias is feeling now, even with that 12 being the direct train connection? You've been travelling for a while, and, you know, maybe this is good for you, maybe it's weird? How is it?
I mean, I feel like he's doing pretty good. Like, it's a nice ride. He's happy with 2 people, even if Willow isn't really a person, more like a train, but she's still sentient. But like with 2 people he likes very, very, very much. And so he's still a bit nervous because like he has no idea what to say. He's not very good at conversation.
No, it's fine. Willow isn't really, as you will have observed, a conversationalist. She is more of a sort of empathetic person to be around. She's a very good listener, is what I will say about Willow.
Yeah, but even with Engineer, I'm saying. But yeah, with Willow, they're just vibing.
They are just vibing. And Engineer scrambles back and makes no comment of what he's been up to. And just as he comes back, there is a sort of change in the lighting, because you've been going through these occasional tunnels, and sometimes you sort of bank up the side of a mountain, because toons. What the hell? Let's use a mountain as a sort of slingshot to get some extra momentum. And you come rushing down the sides of this hill, and you're on the other side of the mountains in the sunshine, and there are golden fields all around you, and you've hit the prairies, basically, and there's long grass. You think you can see cotton or something like it growing in the distance. There's some sort of murmuration of birds very far to your left, and the thing that you notice the most is just the sky. There's like nothing but sky. In our world, we have this place called Big Sky Country, which is just like, in America, there's this stretch where it's just like, if you stand there in the middle of nowhere, you just feel like the dome of the sky on top of you, and it's liberating, but also almost like kind of scary, because it's like, whoa, wow, there's a big sky.
I do remember having been to some places like that in France, and it's very, very pretty.
Or Amsterdam or Norfolk, it's one of these boundless plains, and even though, you have these gigantic mountains behind you, it's like you've entered another world. It's really extraordinary. And eventually, you come to a turning point, and the engineer pulls Willow over, basically, into a lay-by, and you come to a stop. He says, alright, let's just see how the other passengers are doing, shall we?
Passengers? There's more people?
And he's just sort of gestured for you to follow and gets off the train.
Cool, great. Yeah, he's coming. No problem.
Yep, you put her around to the carriage, and he opens it up, and there's two familiar faces, and one of them is Bonnie. It's Bonnie the Mule, everybody. Do you remember Bonnie the Mule? Bonnie the Mule is the engineer's very favourite mount, who is a blind mule who he basically rescued from a glue factory. That's an entire story. And the other one is this horse that you have occasionally ridden, especially like in the movies. You met this person the first time you ever met the engineer, and it is a white sort of Asterix style horse. And we obviously know that this horse already has a name, but just remind me, what's this horse called?
No, I get to give it the name. Fuck. I don't know. You can't do this to me.
I absolutely can, because I'm stalling for time while I try and find a picture of Bonnie. Where the hell did I see it?
Now I'm thinking of a name. I am going to go with
There she is. Yeah.
God. I die immediately. I'm going to go with, I guess, Katya.
Katya, that's a lovely name. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I'm glad.
Bonnie and Katya have been like your silent companions the entire while. They seem to be fine. They're very used to traveling aboard, and they come down the ramp very obediently. And the engineer slings a sort of saddlebag up onto the back. That's the thing that he had with you in the carriage. He says, "Oh, sorry, you can take your goggles off now unless you like the look of them. It's a bit steampunk, but it looks good on you."
Thank you. I'm glad. You know what? I'm just gonna keep them on my head.
Okay.
So I don't forget about them.
Aye, that's fair enough. If you lose them, you've got to repay them. Alright, okay, so saddle up. We're heading out a little way from here.
Oh boy. That's great.
Okay, roll me animal
Not sure
handling.
Tobias' animal handling.
Yeah.
Yeah! Has it gotten better? Yes, because Tobias has jack of all trades.
Yeah.
Oh, cool, great, fun. There is nothing wrong.
14 is not bad. No, 14 is fine.
Not bad.
13 was the DC. I mean, we're not doing stunt riding or anything. We are just riding out. And I'm gonna be a cheat, because, like, Bonnie and the engineer know each other so well, and plus he has speak with animals. So he also gives the horses, like, a quick briefing. So, like, they know where they're going. You just have to make sure you don't fall off. Which with a 14, you do. It's maybe a bit bumpy. Like, you're a little out of practice.
No, you know what I want to say? I want to say he does the exact same thing that he did in Calling All Stars, as in, he goes on the saddle, immediately falls on the other side.
He gets the first part so right and the rest of it so wrong. And the engineer just looks at you and the squashed imprint in the long prairie grass and says, "Well, this takes me back. Alright, let's get you back on." That helps you back up.
Thank you, sir. Dad.
Basically using your dad as a stepladder. It's okay. Everybody needs a mounting block at least once in their life.
God.
That,
I know, I sure did. But anyway.
Yeah, that little piece of comedic diversion aside, you saddle up, and you're heading on out, continuing to head west, and it is beautiful. I would like you to roll perception to see the extent to which you're appreciating this beauty around you.
Perception, perception, perception. My beloved and beloved. Eh.
Yeah, you're vibing. 18. That's fine.
Mhm.
You get the whole package, and yeah, you've got this immense blue sky with, the occasional big heaped cloud, but even, as mountainous as those clouds are, they are small in comparison to the scale of the environment around you. You feel tiny, but you also feel significant, if that makes any sense.
Mhm. Oh yeah, it does make sense. Don't worry. I completely know the feeling.
And yeah, we ride for about half an hour, and I don't know, like, what are your thoughts at the moment?
Obvious biggest thought is wow, this is beautiful. Second biggest thought is where is he taking me?
You are being taken to a secondary location, but don't worry, this is your dad. He's not going to do anything horrible to you today.
It's someone,
He would have
it's
given
someone
you a
he
warning.
trusts.
I mean, I guess you can roll insight. You might get something if you roll insight.
Let's see. 14 again.
14, I'll say it's not good
Dice
enough
Mercer
to...
is really going, you're going to get the middle rolls.
Yeah, it's fair enough. You're kind of coming to terms with the peace. I mean, for someone who's got such a hectic lifestyle now, that's something you have to overcome, is suddenly being absorbed in this very quiet environment and not having loads of things to do. You're just being, which is astonishing. And so is he, which is not very like the engineer. Like, this guy's go, 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 go. And this is perhaps, like, you've got him riding slightly in front of you, and you've got this beautiful sun, like, beating down on both of you, which is making, like, the edges of his feathers slightly transparent, and it's hazy, and you feel slightly sleepy, but, like, in that pleasant way. And it's kind of like you drift back and forth between seeing what's really happening around you and some of the scenes that you watched of him when he was younger in his movies, when you were so small.
Yeah.
And
Tobias is definitely thinking about all the scenes where something like that happens.
yeah, and you're starting to see where that inspiration came from, because clearly he's very comfortable out here. This is one of the very few times you've seen where he's relaxed.
Gods.
So we continue.
I think even Tobias is surprised at that, honestly.
Yeah. You know him very well.
Despite the fact that this is supposed to be like a chill time.
Yeah, it is a chill time. And you eventually make your way to a creek. It's just a small river. You think that it's usually bigger than this, but because of the environment, and it's sort of one of those rivers that changes where it is. Sometimes it wiggles about.
Yeah.
They do that. And he gets off the horse, lets the mule, rather, have a drink, and gestures that you should do the same, and climbs up a little rock and is like, yeah, alright, I think I'll set up the tent over there. Yeah, that'll do.
We're doing camping?
Or just a night, don't worry.
You could have warned me about that.
No, where's the fun in that? I already warned you I was going to take you out. I was not going to spoil that sort of surprise.
You know what? That is fair enough. Gods. I don't remember when I did that last.
Oh, you have been camping before. I didn't know if you had.
Well, at least once or twice, but only in the forest near my home.
Hey, and where was that exactly? Remind me.
It's in, so fun fact, I don't know where Tobias's home is.
Okay, you can just say vaguely.
It's probably in UPA. Yeah, it's probably in UPA, like, in one of the smaller towns of UPA.
Okay. I think, some small conversation about that passes while you're setting up the tent, and because it's only fair, let's both roll survival and see how badly this tent turns out. Because it's been a while for him.
Oh, that's gonna be great.
But, let's see. Oh my god. Are you serious?
Oh, fuck.
Jesus. I always feel like that's out of character, but it's kind of hilarious.
This is the funniest shit.
That is really
Thank
funny.
you.
Wow. I mean, so Louis got a 13. I got a 7. Damn.
Yeah!
I think we set up the tent while we're talking, and then it's like just the engineer and Tobias looking at it, crossed arms, and is like, there's something not quite right about it. And then it cuts to the tent and it's upside down.
I knew you were gonna say that.
It's
I
literally
love
upside down. And I look at each other, it's just like, I think we've got to burst out laughing because that's just so fucking typical. Toons! God damn it! We have to get it wrong at least once. Anyway,
at least. It's fine. Tobias will help. Is that get it on the right side?
Yeah, I think we just do a take 2, and I'll say it's a gimme on the second go around. It looks like a tent. It's the right way up. Maybe parts of it are slightly erratic, but it'll do. Like, it's not going to come down on us in the middle of the night.
If it works as a tent, it's good.
Yeah. Okay.
That's all you need to know.
Yeah, and he wipes the sweat off his brow and is like, alright, well, that went... It went. Okay, took a wee bit longer than I was expecting. So what do you want to do? Do you want to catch dinner first, or do you want a wee lesson?
Depends on the lesson?
Oh, don't you worry, I'm not going to taste you. It's just, I've been observing you, and I've had some conversations with some of your friends and loved ones over some things that have been happening lately, and I feel like you would benefit from some lessons in composition, basically.
What do you mean?
Alright, well, how's about this? Take this for
He's
an example.
literally like with with a question mark above his head again.
Okay, and he draws he's always got a sketchbook. Every artist always has a sketchbook. And he gets a page, and you just hear him go, and it's like you hear him draw a line and a dot. And he says, alright, so say this is a cinema screen. That wee little jobby over there, that's a person. So, what do you think you could do to make this better?
I don't know.
Well, it occurs to me that, if that's a character, you really want it to stand out. So, I'm using this because it's a nice sort of sandy coloured sketch pad. I use it for a lot of westerns. But really what it needs is this. And he takes a white piece of paper and draws the dot again. And then instead you have this. He says, so do you see how that makes it better? Like, it's just tiny, but it makes them stand out, do you think?
Yeah, I guess it does.
Alright, don't worry, we'll explain.
It does actually nod genuinely at that.
That's good. We're learning the basics here. And it's always important to know where your horizon is and what to do with it. So, okay, say that the horizon instead is really near the top, like this. So you can still see him, but what are you going to do about that? How are you going to make him stand out?
I mean, is it like changing the actual place of where he is on the page, or?
Not necessarily. I mean, that's an option. But the thing is, where your horizon is can be a tool. Like, so if you really wanted him to stay there, what could you do about it? To make him...
Make the place below him darker?
Hey, that's a possibility. That's good. That's good. But may I suggest, and you hear a series of... You see, one of my cheapest and best tools is the shadow. It's completely free. And all you need is a good light source. And I don't think you can make it any clearer than that, can you?
No, probably not.
You can put them all over the place. I mean, I'm not going to get too into things like the golden ratio and thirds today. We'll do that next week. But this is to do with being able to find a way of standing out of identifying a single in, let's say a multitude, and then you hear just like a sort of machine gun as he stabs the pencil on the paper over and over. It was like, alright, so who would you make one of these? Like, I mean, you get it. How are you gonna find the main character and all of that?
I make him a different color or add something else to him.
That's great. Good, see? I knew you'd be getting it. And he takes a soft putty eraser, you know, one of those ones you can just roll it over the pencil and it takes a bit off. And he does, like, your first suggestion. So he basically partially erases all of the other characters. It's like, so that's an option. Making it stand out by changing all the rest. But I'm gonna be honest with you, doing that sometimes is a pain in the neck. So, if you were not able to do that, how else would you draw attention to a single person in a multitude?
Well, once again, make something distinct about them.
Such as?
That only they have. But I don't... A hat, maybe?
Hey, that's a good possibility.
Or different... Like, a different outfit in general, or... Well, right now it's a dot, but if it was an actual person, I guess some kind of special thing on their face, like eyes of a special color or something.
Well, that requires being able to see the eyes at this distance. Not really an option. But you're playing on the same theme of basically appearance and colour. But you nearly touched on what I want you to point out, because these are people, and what's one of the things that people can do? They're alive. I'll give you that as a hint.
Talk?
I suppose, but in a visual medium, or even a silent movie, how would you do it then?
Gestures?
Aye, that's it.
Like,
closer.
A way of walking, or...
I'll give you this one, it's a bit mean. And he does the same stab. But this time he puts his hand into the creek and, flicks it a few times to get off most of the water, and then just smears it on the page, and then does another dot. And what you end up with is this.
Oh.
And he says, if everybody is moving, the thing that you notice is what is not moving. And the opposite can be true. So you could have all these people standing completely still, and your main character running about in them like a maniac.
Yeah.
I think you've probably observed that in some of my movies. Definitely that way around.
I definitely have seen that. Yes. I mean, I didn't really, like... When I looked at your movies, I definitely noticed things, but I'm not a director like you, so I didn't see things the same way that you did.
Hey, I know,
but now I understand how it works.
That's the thing. I'm here to teach you not just how to act. At this point, you've got the basics of that down. What I want you to be able to do is also contribute creatively. You might want to make your own movies someday. I don't know. But even if you don't, it helps
or
to
flashbacks
understand.
to incident reports.
Hey, that was pretty good, honestly. For a first crack, not bad. I was entertained for sure. But if you're wanting to
honestly,
step further...
Jack did all the work.
Did he now? And he makes a note of that. Interesting. Okay. I'm just gonna have a conversation. It's interesting to find these things out. I don't know. Everybody's so pick and shy. They don't want to say what they did for it. Anyway. Also, who gave Sel those boots? What were those? Kinky?
The boots were Vava's.
Oh,
Miss
oh,
Vava's.
that explains everything.
Well, I can't call her Miss Vava's. Yeah, the whole outfit. It was very good.
Yes, that was something. I'll never see him the same way. But anyway, it's fine. It's fine. He's got the legs to pull it off. I'll admit. Just don't give DJ moves those. He'll try and he'll break his leg. That's like
oh God, no.
He's very good with platforms, but those are flat, and he is 60-odd, so you know. Anyway,
Tobias just nods.
The point is, if you want more lessons in this sort of thing, I can give them to you, but this is a good starting point. I don't want to overload you with this sort of thing. But composition doesn't it just apply to an artistic vision? It's you talk about who composed you are as a person as well. So how is your composition at the moment?
He looks at himself a little bit.
You look fine, that's not what I'm talking about, laddie.
I don't... I'm not sure.
That's an answer. That's allowed.
I'm not... Yeah, I don't, really know how to describe it because I've seen it on paper, but I don't know what you mean with me as a person right now.
Well, for example, does it look like this? And he holds up the picture which is covered in dots.
Not really, because we're the only two people here.
Ah, that's good. But the thing is, you're, and I have to apologise for this, you're famous.
Yeah, I've noticed.
Hey, it's something that you're gonna have to live with. I can't say that you'll get used to it, I don't think I ever will. But sometimes it feels like this, and it can be hard to be individual and make space for yourself inside of yourself when you're so surrounded by other people and what they think you are, which is usually not what you are. And
starting to understand.
Starting to get it. I mean, we've got Minty now, who's probably indefinitely better at this than I am, but, you know, I in my own crude way have found ways of sort of coping with it. And, so using these methods on a movie screen is one thing, but you can sort of apply them to your thoughts, to your mental landscape. So if you were feeling like one of several thousand dots, I want you to be able to find the real you in amongst all of that and breathe. But that's a lot to take in. How about we catch some fish before the day ends?
Yeah, sure. That sounds good. Man, he's gonna be thinking. Don't worry about that.
No, that's the idea. Like, he wanted to give you this as an introduction, but, you know, talking about this shit is hard. Like, he doesn't expect you to be able to, like, form coherent answers or make some great philosophical observation. He's not good at doing that. Like, his philosophy is shown in his films. It's not often spoken. He's not a writer. He doesn't write books.
It is actually kind of the same thing with Tobias, where he's very hard at expressing this kind of things. When he has to help someone with a problem, he'll most likely try to do it in things that are very simple and like not using complicated terms or long sentences to explain something. He'll do it.
That's the best way. Honestly, that's like a really good way of doing it. Anyway, so Engineer's basically done what he can and is going to let you stew on that and think about it. Meanwhile, how about let's see how bad we are at catching fish. I feel like this is either nature or survival, or like if you've got a spell that you want to use to catch a fish, we could go ham with the attack rolls here.
Oh gods, hold on, what are Tobias's spells? That's great. He does have some lightning spells, which probably a great way to catch fish in a 2-dish environment.
Oh my gosh. Well, we only want a few fish, but sure, why not? Okay. I think, first of all, we need to be able to find the fish. So, like, you know, maybe a stealth roll?
Probably.
Stealth, to make sure that we don't scare all the fish off. Let's both do that.
Ah, yes.
Come on, no more 7s, Engineer. 16, that's acceptable, fine. Oh, God.
With a +7, Tobias rolled a 9.
What happened? Did you fall in?
Tobias, face down in the river.
God. Mental image of Engineer doing, like, the perfect little stealthy sneak, and then there's this from behind him, and it's like, just, you've tripped over a root that was underneath the water, and you're just like, ah!
There are no more fishes in this place.
Nope, it's okay, we'll do it again. Okay, so roll stealth again, let's see how the next attempt goes.
Oh no.
14, that's okay, it's not amazing.
Knock on wood.
Yeah, that's enough.
That's better.
That's better. It's not diet, so we eventually, after a little...
He knows where the root is.
He knows where the root is. After a little recalibration and find a different corner of this creek, there's like some scrub brush to afford some shade, and the fish like the shade because there's quite a lot of sunshine. So we have found some fish, and he's like, alright, so your last method was not so successful. Catching them with your face is more my sort of thing, but do you have anything up your sleeve?
Well, I could technically get multiple of them with one spell, but
Ready?
it's probably best that we do not stand in the water ourselves.
Noted. And he takes a step backwards, so you can...
Oh boy. No, which spell is it going to be?
That, my friend,
because
is up to you.
Like, water conducts electricity, so technically Shocking Grasp could work. So I guess he's gonna use Shocking Grasp.
Okay.
He could also use Lightning Lure and make the lure look like, those
Yeah,
big
make it look like a
fish
fishing
nets.
rod. Oh, do lightning lure. That's so good.
Okay, I'm doing Lightning Lure. Let me grab that real quick. Oh boy.
Actually, Engineer has that too.
It's
We
been
could
so
go
long since I
fishing.
used the spells.
We can
Yes.
both do it. Oh my god, let's do it.
Okay. The target must succeed on a strength saving throw.
Okay, I will do a roll for your fish, and I will say that a fish of this size has no modifying feature either way. A 19? Oh my god! You got the strongest fish in the stream. You got a pike.
Oh god!
You got a pike. You're basically being towed along by this fucking fish. Do you want to help with that, or if you got it? I don't think you've got it.
I'm good!
I think the fish has got okay. Like the engineer is gonna try and catch the same fish, I guess. So this fish is going to have another. Okay, there's the failure.
Oh god.
Okay, so the second lightning lure hits this gigantic fish. It's like a sturgeon, actually. It's like just fucking up the shit. Like, you thought it was a regular ass fish. No, this thing is the king of the river.
And we got it.
We got it. In teamwork, like, you're basically in the shallows. The engineer is trying to keep his heels, like, dug into the earth. Fortunately, those boots of kicking are really coming in handy. Thank you, Sal. And you manage to land this enormous fish, which is also basically partly crispified already because of the lightning magic.
Yup. See, this is the perfect example of why it is good to have both a primary spellcaster and a primary physical fighter.
Yep, it's a good combo. And there was much rejoicing. And I think we fast forward to them roasting this fish properly over a fire, because this thing is big enough, like they don't need any more fish, this is fine.
probably like the same size as Tobias because it's only 4 or 5, but it's still pretty big for a fish.
The engineer has a big appetite. He can eat something that's bigger than himself. Don't worry about that. TARDIS rules. So we've had a fairly fun, eventful, and peaceful day. It's now golden hour. It's beautiful sunset, sort of marbling into the magenta spectrum. So now you've had time to process some of that input from before, and you've had fun with a fish and horse riding. How are you feeling now?
Oh boy. Still many thoughts. Most of them are in the back of his mind because he's still taking in the scenery, and also, it's finally like a quiet place to be compared to the other studios, which he hangs at most at those days.
I'm gonna roll.
So he's definitely like, go.
Okay, 9. I can't read your thoughts. Engineer is
well,
focused
you
on
do
the
consider because I love you very much, but Engineer does have Tobias's color sheet.
Oh, that's true. What color are you?
And so that means that you have advantage.
Ah.
I feel like Tobias's color right now is like, hold on, because I did make a little update to it.
Oh.
His color right now is just a little thing that I changed. It's nothing much, but I feel like he's something that you have not seen a lot on him. But it's lime green.
Oh.
A dip one.
Okay.
A little bit of another kind of green, which is right above the lime green, and then a bit of yellow too, like all 3 of those colors.
Wow, that's yeah, okay. I'm looking at the chart and I'm like, okay. Huh. So with a 14, he gets as much as I'm getting, which is a sort of a gist, but not like really deep into what you're literally thinking of right now. But in order to break the silence, like after a while, like, you've both been enjoying your meal, and maybe the sun has set further and the ashes, the embers are sort of just crackling softly, and he sort of awkwardly shrugs and says, you're allowed to not tell me things. I know that's absolutely your prerogative, but it would be very good in the future to let me know about things like phobias, because I recently heard that you don't like small spaces.
Ha! Oh, that. It's not... Okay, so, it's not that I didn't want to tell you. It's more that I forgot.
Okay,
because unless it happens to me, I don't think about it too often.
That's fair enough, and I mean, it's not something anybody enjoys talking about what they're afraid of. But, I want to keep you safe and comfortable in what you're exposed to in the studio. So, if you hadn't told me, I might have accidentally put you in that sort of a situation. So in future, you must be absolutely clear about things that you're not happy with in advance. I don't want you trying to do stuff that you're not happy to do.
I mean, I guess I can tell you a few phobias that I have right now.
I'm willing to listen if you really want to talk about it, but I've also put it out here to have a nice time. And yeah, I think we're both like slightly the characters like slightly talk over each other because they're both like, I don't know, you get money. It's like super awkward. He's trying to be a good dad, but he's also kind of like, I don't know if this is the right time to talk about this.
Listen, Tobias would absolutely tell Engineer that, like, talking about it, not a problem at all. It's like living the things that he doesn't like, but talking about them, he like doesn't mind at all. So like he's perfectly good with talking about them. If Engineer is like okay to wear it at a nice time like this.
Yeah, he's literally, that's what he's said, is like, and not just now, like, basically, anytime that he's, maybe not in the middle of, like, doing a scene, that would be awkward.
Yeah!
But yeah,
that would be very bad.
He wants to listen to you. Like, he respects you as a human being, it's not just a work thing, it's like, he wants to know about you.
So, Tobias thinks about it for a few moments because he has to remember his own phobias.
Ah.
But...
if you need a 5-minute break to remember those things, we can do that.
I do remember it's for Tobias this time. Because it's that one thing that I'm pretty sure not only ADHD people have, but that one thing of, if it doesn't happen at this moment, you are not thinking of it.
Yeah,
it disappears from your mind.
Yeah. Totally.
And that happens to Tobias.
Oh, poor baby.
more than he likes to admit. So I do have the claustrophobia, which is like being in a room that is locked is not a problem. I don't mind that. It's the being stuck somewhere where I don't have the place to move that is not good.
He's nodding and making like little notes, but mostly just listening.
Cool. There's also you remember when we had that talk about the merchandise, when I told you that I wasn't very comfortable with it?
Hey, what was that about? I mean, I would like to respect your wishes, but kids love Luke. I mean, Fluke. Who's Luke?
Yeah,
I don't know.
no, I totally I
Shh.
no, I totally understand that. It's just like I was looking to see if there was a term for it, and the closest I got was automatonophobia, which
Okay,
is
I'm
not
gonna be
exactly
real with
what
you.
I
I have
feel,
no picking
because...
idea what you just said. So
No,
what does that
don't...
mean?
Okay, automatonophobia. It's like automaton phobia, which is like the fear of things that are humanoid, like mannequins and stuff like that.
Do you know?
But
I've got a little bit of that. I think I've got a touch of that. I blame that to the Tasper's business, because those things creep me out. I love machines.
Boy.
I love machines, but those automata have no soul. It's almost like they had it removed. I do not like those at all. So, yes, do understand that sort of thing, actually, personally.
I actually got an invitation for an inauguration at a megaplex in Future World.
A what in a who?
That I have to go to. Future World, that, like, very big high-tech city.
Oh, that. He looks a bit like...
Yeah.
Yeah. He's heard of it, but he kind of wishes he hadn't. He's like, well, you do that if you want to, but again, as I'm talking with you here, I'm trying to find spaces where you're comfortable. Just from what you've just said, are you sure you're happy to do that?
No, once again, the thing, like, automatonophobia was the closest thing that I found, but mine is a little bit different. As in, like, not all humanoid things scare me. It's more like stuff that looks like me that I don't like.
Oh, this is about phone bias. And he puts his face in his hands, and he's just like...
It's not just phone bias, but it's a big thing.
I don't even know where the pick that thing came from. I am... Okay, well...
I don't remember either, but I don't like it at all.
No, okay, well, the next time I see it, I'll burn it to the pieces. So, okay, let's say cremation.
Thank you.
ASAP of Tobias.
I don't know if it works entirely, because I've seen it again after doing that myself, but thank you.
Okay, but that's an interesting one. So you don't like things that resemble yourself that aren't yourself. Is that a sort of doppelganger fear?
I guess so. I guess it's kind of like that. There was an incident that happened not that long ago where I was out with Bob and someone was like making themselves pass as me with a mask of me, and that wasn't a super great thing. I did make sure like that they wouldn't do it again, but
I would love to tell you that that sort of thing has never happened to me, and you would think that it was impossible. I mean, look at me. He's just gesturing to himself like, what even is this? Even I don't know. But he's like, but the problem is, as I apologised to you before, you are famous. I sort of did promise you that you would be, because you're one of the most gifted actors I have ever met, and that's... You know, not an exaggeration. I do not give out compliments too easily, I think it is fair to say. But
Tobias get much golden pink.
Aww.
In his...
Yeah. Meanwhile, Engineer is sort of looking a little uncomfortable because he's like, well, people say that impersonation is the highest form of flattery. I think it's a bit of an insult and it's very annoying. Especially when they go around talking to newspapers as if they're you. So if that ever happens again, you come straight to me and I'll hang them.
Okay.
I mean, not literally speaking, but if you want me to.
Yeah.
I'm pretty handy with these.
I guess it will depend on the situation.
Okay. We'll put that down as a maybe, but... understandable, and maybe even a form of self-protection now that you're where you are. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, is there anything else in particular?
There may have been, like, a few other things, but I really can't think of them later. But I will come back to you if I do think of them at any point.
Okay, well, that's great progress. Even these two is a lot to chew on. And, you know, I've been thinking about the whole claustrophobic thing, and I don't like being contained. Nobody does, but, like, I was trying to think... I mean, I don't know if this will help you, but I was thinking about this quite a lot lately. Take this as an example. And he reaches into, like, his backpack, and he's got, like... You know, you've got mason jars just for, like, keeping rations in and stuff. There's maybe some beef jerky in there, and he empties out the jerky into his hand. Just eats it. It's just fucking gone. You know, you can almost hear the...
And Kyle disappears.
You can almost hear the flames in his stomach, like, just, it's eviscerated, it's gone. And he takes this open glass jar, and he grabs some rocks that are just, like, scattered around you and puts them in the jar. And he holds it up and he says, alright, so I've got a jar full of rocks, so the jar is full.
Yes?
No, this jar is not full. And he looks around for some smaller rocks, like pebbles, and you can help out if you want.
You will help out. Yeah.
Okay, you get some smaller pebbles, and lo, you can put them in the jar, and if you shake it a bit, like, they wriggle their way down into the gaps between the big rocks. And he's like, alright, now is the jar full?
Well, there's, I'm gonna say no because I'm pretty sure you're going to tell me no. So I guess we can put something even smaller in there?
I know you're starting to get it. How about the sand? And yeah, so he gets hands full of sand and just like it just so easily it just fits in there. And you know, this jar that, you know, you couldn't fit another pebble in, you can fit so much sand in it. And it's kind of fun, because you put in a bit and you go shika shika shika, and you put some more in and you go shika shika shika. So, like, there's a sort of tactile, therapeutic fun thing about this. Like, he's making you do the work now, basically, so you can, like, feel how the jar is now much more heavy and everything. And you finally get it to the top with sand. And he's like, alright, now is it full?
Hold on, I'm gonna roll intelligence because I have seen one video that did this.
Oh,
Tobias
really?
has not, so I'm gonna just roll intelligence.
I was thinking I was coming over you.
I knew it.
Dang it.
I'm gonna just roll straight intelligence.
Or wisdom. I mean, oh
He
God.
does not know, so
No.
he's in fact going to nod.
well, no, sorry, you're wrong again. And
Ha!
he takes the jar over to the water, and if you hold it under the water goes into the jar and fills it up. And he says, well, that's probably as far as I can take this demonstration, but I'm sure that you understand that this would actually continue if I was able to. So, where am I going with this with you and you're claustrophobic? Well, I kind of get into your head and, know how you'll be feeling when you're in a tiny space. But if some part of you can remember about this jar and about how there are spaces in spaces and spaces, I mean, look at us two. Like, where is the line between me and the outside world? I mean, we use a bit more obvious because you're UPA, but we're gonna ignore that for a second because I'm a CGI and I don't have an outline. So, the borderline between where a person begins and the environment starts is very... it's not really there, because as soon as you start trying to describe an organism, you have to describe the environment that it exists in.
Yeah?
Do you get at all where I'm going with this?
Not really.
Okay, it was a bit of a long shot, but okay, how about this is a more literal example? And he potters up to you and gives you a big hug.
Oh.
Alright, so where are you and where am I?
Well, I guess I don't... Just I'm standing there and you're standing there.
Am I though? And, he squeezes you so you can feel like the fact that his arms are going all the way around you. But, on an emotional level, you know that he's not just outside you. Especially in a moment like this, he's there with you. God damn, it's like an enormous lorry outside. You are killing the atmosphere! Will you please shut off your motor? My god.
It's fine, we can imagine it's the river next to them.
If I sound like I'm underneath a helicopter, I'm not. There's just an enormous lorry outside. Fuck off! Oh my god. Anyway.
I pet you very gently.
We're having a moment!
Tobias is still not sure how to describe. Like, words hard.
Words are hard. And, the engineer is not sure that he's, going to communicate what he wants to communicate. And maybe it'll take some weeks of contemplating, the sketches that he did on those pieces of paper and the jar and this feeling right now, because you're contained, but you're also, like, in the most wide open space you've probably ever been in. And, he gives you another pat. He's like, yeah, this is not really working out, but basically, when you are next in a space like that, maybe try and remember the space that you were in just now.
I guess I could try.
Because you've got a really good imagination is the thing, and it can work against you, or you can make it help you.
Well, yeah, but there is also the physical sensations when I'm in a very closed
This is also
area.
true. So I was wondering, like, maybe Cell could teach you how to teleport or explode the box, or, I don't know, maybe grow 10 times. I don't know peekaboo magic, but mine seems to do that sort of thing.
I don't know if growing would help, because imagine if the box doesn't, break and I'm just take more space.
Alright,
that would be worse.
How about the opposite? Maybe you could make yourself smaller.
I guess that could work.
Basically,
guess I'll-
emotionally, there's probably
Yeah.
more progress that we could make, but I'm very clumsy about this sort of thing. But in a more
No, I
practical way, I
understand.
think magically you're much more able than I am. And there's a lot of crazy shit that it can do, so maybe have a look into that, because if you keep ending up in these situations, and as much as I would like to say I will always be there to help you out, the truth of it is, like, I can't make that promise. It would hurt both of us.
Yeah.
So make a plan for the next time that it happens.
I guess I'll go talk to Marcel about it.
Marcel,
And I
or
can-
like even Minty. I mean, Minty is probably gonna be better at telling you what he was trying to do. I'm not good with the brain words. It's awkward. I make movies, that's how I express myself. You know this. And he's like walking around frustrated now. He's like really embarrassed, like he's glowing like a bonfire. He's just like he wants to get through to you so much because he loves you. But it's like,
When
this
he-
isn't working out. It's like,
When he
this sounded
passes
so much
by
better on
Tobias,
paper.
he gets a pat on the head.
It's very hot. It's like,
Fine.
anyways, it's alright, fine. I tried. But, you know what? Just, if anything, if you take anything from this experience, maybe just take the experience with you. Because they can't take that off you.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it makes sense, yeah.
So next time you're stuck in a box, just remember yourself falling face first into a river. No, I mean, just look up, would you? And you look up,
Okay.
you look up, and you are miles away from any form of artificial lighting. And I don't know if you've ever been in the countryside like that at night with a clear sky.
I have not, unfortunately.
I can tell you, as someone who's been in that situation, I went to Costa Rica and Corcovado, I was helping with turtles and shit. It is actually life-changing. It's wild. There's an entire universe up there. There are so many stars. So many.
Oh boy.
I can't describe. The engineer certainly can't, but I can't describe how deep the sky is. And it makes you feel giddy. It makes you feel dizzy because it's so vast. And it's all above you, but you almost wonder if it isn't. Like, you almost feel like your feet are sticking to the underside of the water tension of a river. Like, you are just sort of bobbing about on the surface of the world, and you don't know what it is that is stopping you from falling into that sky sea. And it's so wonderful, it's terrifying.
Yeah.
That bullshit wasn't
God.
scripted, that's just me remembering what that felt like. It is
No, yeah.
wild
like,
shit.
The thing is, I have not been in the countryside with, like, big, like, beautiful starry sky, but I have definitely done that before, of going outside and just looking up, and I have felt the same thing, so I know what you're talking about.
Awesome, that's great. Yeah, that is exactly what Tobias feels right now, and I hope that some part of that memory ingrains itself, because having that with you is really important.
Well, there's definitely a lot of that whole day and conversation and experience going to stay with him.
That's awesome. And yeah, we pass a peaceful night under the stars. You can do that however you wish, and we take the long, slow ride back to the train and then go back. But the whole thing takes time, and the whole thing is outside in big spaces. There is no pressure. We can stop. We can go. We can look at that cool little bug that you just found. Oh my god, what is that? It's pink. Cool.
You know, Tobias would, like, entirely be able to tell what kind of bug it is.
It may have
to
just
the
bitten me,
engineer.
but it's fine. It's, you know, like, the point is to, like, just have some time out. And if either of our characters needs to do that again, like, part of this was to say that, yeah, we are allowed to do that. It's good to do that.
Just take some time for yourself.
Yeah. and for each other. And yeah, increasingly the engineer is going to start doing that. Like, he's not going into semi-retirement. He can't do that. He would die. He's so much about his work, he just can't stop. It's not healthy for him right now, especially.
Just take small breaks from time to time.
But yeah, he's looking more to doing this sort of thing more often, like with you, with his kids, with his grandkids. And yeah, I hope that Tobias had a nice time.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Don't even worry about that.
Okay.
Like, he missed that.
Yeah.
And it's very good to do it again.
Okay. Well, all awkward conversations
Even
aside.
more so with people he loves, like the engineer.
You can't drop that on me right at the end. Well, okay, you can. It's very cute.
I finger guns at you. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah, and we go back to the studio and life resumes. But, like, yeah, he's there to be talked to. If you remember any of the other stuff that he's afraid of, he can listen to that as well. And he also wants to know when you're going out on weird, jaunts to future world land, because, like, he wants to keep an eye on you. Because you're gonna get loads of invitations to shit, because now you're famous, and, like, some of those are gonna suck. They're gonna suck. So
fun fact about that, it's actually an FPS I'm planning with Doc for next weekend.
Fun. Okay.
Yeah!
Y'all have a good time, but yeah.
I'm glad, thank you.
He's giving you a sort of a gentle reminder that not everything you get invited to has to be responded to with a yes. Because that's important.
Yep.
Okay, boundaries.
But he did say yes to that, so you will have to, you will have a fun little thing about Tobias's mindset when he's going to get there.
The engineer kind of got famous because, like, well, after he was famous, I mean, because he kept turning things down. Like, he didn't want to go to big gala parties if they weren't, like, necessarily about films. He was just like, no, God. Unless he had to, like, go and mingle and get money because, oh God, we've run out of cash again. But yeah, no, he says no more than he says yes. And sometimes that's what you have to do in life. Okay, I'm going to stop rambling. This was cute. I do have to go. So, thank you very much for playing. Thank you guys for listening. Sorry that I'm not very good.
Thank you very much for grabbing me for an FPS.
Yeah, sorry I'm not good at deep Zen revelation talks. I'm just doing the best I can with what I have.
Listen, you don't have to be good at it. It was a nice moment between not only our characters, but also us both.
Okay.
Like, I miss playing with you.
And you got to fall off a horse again. It's been a long time.
Yeah, it has been a long time.
That's just gonna be, like, how he gets
but
on the
it's
horse
fine.
now. Like, every
He's just
damn
gonna
time.
get used to doing that.
Yep. Okay. Right. I'm gonna go, and I love you very much.
And I love you too. And thank you for doing this FPS with me.
Yeah. Sorry I talked a lot, because I do that when I'm nervous. Duh.
No, don't worry about it. It's very good because I'm not very talkative.
Aww. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna start the recording now. Bye, everybody.
Yeah, bye.